two situations in this case. The first one is whether the in-laws are ready to accept the marriage. So, sorry, not in-laws, the family members as parents of the girl, whether we are ready to accept the marriage or not. We are assuming yes, we are accepting. We are accepting the marriage because as far as that their age is concerned, they are adult enough, they can go to the legitimate marriage, and she is 20 years and their man is 35 years old. So we as parents are accepting the marriage. In that case, what can we do?
Did you have a choice in not accepting the marriage?
Because our mentality now.
No, there are two things. One is you are accepting the girl. You are
Okay.
not accepting the marriage because marriage is a fact.
Okay.
So you are accepting the girl and the groom she has married.
Right.
You are accepting that family as part of your family.
Right.
Which is a different formulation than saying you are accepting marriage. Maybe you wanted to say the same thing, but you want to be clear that you are accepting.
I'm
You
coming
are
to the next
not
step.
holding it. You are not holding it against your daughter that she ran away from the house at the age of 20 against your wishes. You are not holding that against her.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The thing is, now we have accepted the marriage, now we are coming to the family where the girl has gone, the in-laws, whether they are accepting the marriage or not. As per the situation mentioned here, they are not accepting because they just treat her as some servant and all these things. They are concealing the facts and all. First of all, we will try to convince that family to accept the marriage. That may include through their relatives, through their social tactics, and all other means we will try our best to convince the family to accept it. There will be two situations, whether they accept it or they not. If they accept it, yes, okay, we are acting the marriage, then we will try to convince them to make it public. Let the society know that this is a married couple, our son has married this girl, and for this purpose, we may convince them to organize some social gathering, some social function, so that the society people, the community people come to know that yes, she is a legal wife of this man. Then, after this, we will try to maintain regular interaction between the two families, frequent visits, because we have accepted that our son-in-law as well. So we will try to make very good rapport between the two families. And if not supported, if they are not supporting, in that case, if the family is not accepting, no, we are not accepting. Your girl has come of her own wish, we are not accepting this marriage. In that case, first, because being the parents of the daughter, being parents of a girl who has recently married, definitely we will try our level best to get that marriage settled in the first instance itself. This is not something exchangeable time and again one can marry. As parents we will try to convince those parents. Otherwise we will try to know what are the causes, why they are not accepting. If those causes are remediable, they have remedies with us, we will try to compromise at some points, whether if it is something genuine, if it is something ingenuine, if they want, no, this girl should not wear this girl should not go to office, this girl should not be in a job, these things we are not going to agree.
What is it that you will agree to in a vow? What is it that you will agree to in a compromise? And the whole family can answer.
Okay.
Not the only one answer.
Yes.
So if they say, okay, we are saying she should not continue with her education, or they say she will not take up a job.
This will be purely decided by the girl, whether she wants to continue with her education or not.
But she wants to. This is the stumbling block.
It's all about the happiness of the girl.
Sorry?
Ma'am, we are linked with the other family with the girl. It is the main link. If we will only focus on the happiness of the girl, it is the happiness of the girl that we have accepted the marriage. It is not her happiness. Therefore, all the relations
That's
in the future
happiness.
as well as what has happened, that will be depending on the happiness of the girl.
Okay. Then I want to ask the first question also that even if suppose they go public because you are putting pressure on them to go public about the marriage. And then you say you will keep the interaction of it so that you can keep track of that the girl is not mistreated anymore. But suppose after agreeing to go public, they say no more now. You are interfering
is safe enough, and I am confident that yes, she is
It
safe.
has taken so long to even confide in you that she was a problem.
That's what I'm saying. If we are convinced enough that yes, our daughter is safe there, we can minimize the interference. Why should we interfere in her life? But if I see, okay, they have just made it public for the sake of public. If they have made it public just for the sake of public and still they are torturing the girl, definitely there are legal remedies. We will go to the law for that. But for that, we have to.
What legal remedies do you think you have?
We have written that. For that purpose, we have to convince our daughter first whether she is ready to go take the help of the legal remedies or not. If our girl,
What do you think will be the reasons because of which your daughter may not want to take legal remedies?
just for this social stigma, she might be thinking, once I have done, let me be with my fate. It's my fault. Let me continue with it. Well, she might not be feeling confident enough.
Yeah, I think that's an important point to keep track of. That she is feeling she has done a wrong. What is the wrong she has done in this situation? Okay, she ran away. But she married. She is not living with without marriage with anybody. And marrying after the age of 80 is a very legal activity. So what should she be ashamed of?
There could have been consent of both side parents as well at that point itself also. Had she
No, that's important because that's how they feel. That's how most victims feel. Self-blame, I am the one to blame. Is a very, very typical victim syndrome. They would find faults with everything they have done. But in this scenario, I want you to look at objectively and tell me what is the wrong that she has done in marrying a man of her own choice.
once we have accepted the marriage, we don't find anything
Even
wrong.
if you have not
The only thing the child has to,
Even if you have not accepted, is there anything wrong that she has done?
socially she has done wrong.
So, socially lots of things may be wrong.
Yes,
But
definitely.
that doesn't mean that she has to blame that I have done something wrong. Isn't it?
We are just trying to build her capacity not to think like that she has done something wrong. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We will try to convince the girl that she has not done anything wrong.
As a gender justice class, you also need to understand
Yeah.
that how our mind works.
Definitely.
That we are again saying, if she thinks that she's done a wrong and therefore she doesn't want to go to police, we're saying we will first convince her, but why do we need to convince her? She should actually, we are all law students. We're already thinking about empowerment by law. Law tells us the actions we can take in this scenario. And she doesn't take it, it's an issue. Where is the problem in access? Accessing the law. We can make a law, but unless people are ready to access the law, that is of no use. You may have the best law, you may have the best people to implement it. You have a very sensitive police officer. But if your woman, if your daughter is not ready to go to the police, what do you do then?
That's what we are saying. If the daughter is not ready to take help of that, only counseling can help her. I think so.
Right.
We should get her proper counseling either through us or through a professional counselor.
Okay.
If she agrees,
So,
she should agree to take help of that.
great job. Family is very supportive. We need another group to come up.
Because
Class fellows.
if the time permits and if you permit me later on, I can tell a real story like this. I faced in my own village just near to my house.
Yeah, sure. Later chance.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, class fellows. Class fellows. Yes.
Come here.
You want to come here?
Ma'am, as a class fellow, firstly we will give her moral support and encourage her to raise her voice in the family and firstly ask her husband to declare their marriage in the society, so that she would get a legal status. Legal and social status that she is the legally wedded wife of that boy. And then we'll meet girls' parents and make them aware of her situation and insist them to help her out of the situation.
Okay, now you have a family who is already helping. Is there anything else you would want to do now that you know that they are helping?
If they are helping, and we'll ask them, we'll insist the girl's family to communicate with in-laws and make them realize that make them realize of the worst situation of their daughter in that family, and their marriage and accept her as a wife, as their daughter-in-law. And, then we'll communicate with the women's self, and then we will
Suppose the husband comes to harass her because now she is insisting. You are all insisting, the family and friends have got together saying, no, 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 now you come and explain, make it public, and he becomes nasty.
ma'am,
He becomes violent. What will you do then?
then we'll
If she is facing the threat of violence,
make her realize about her rights and legal remedies, and make girls
she will made aware, will that protect her, may that awareness will protect her.
ma'am, we'll make a FIR against her husband about domestic
Okay,
violence.
she's not ready to go to the police. She's still not ready to go to the police. Is there any way you can help her in this situation where she wants protection but she doesn't want to go to the police and the husband is becoming violent?
Ma'am, then we'll file an PIL. वो तो कोई भी फाइल कर सकता है.
कहाँ पहुँच गए? What was girl in your class? Which tells you this? Okay, perfect. That's all right. But that's a good thinking that you are thinking in terms of a long-term bigger impact as well. We need to think more deeply about PIA. This comes from the report. This has kind of just popped up. We'll examine that. This go on to the next.
What she has just now said, she has done a very good job, but I just want to add one thing. In case the girl is not agreeing to go to the police, because I think friend circle is the best factor which can impress the child.
I'm very glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Because unless people are there with her, she's not with
Definitely.
everyone.
In
The
some,
child is not going to attack her if she's with people. So therefore, being with her will make sure that she is not attacked while we are there. It's something you can do yourself. You don't have to rely on PIA. Isn't that? Right. Next one.
And we formed the victim support group. So our primary concern is the victim, her mental and physical health. So we'll try and make her comfortable with us so that she opens up with her कि उसके साथ इस 3 साल में हुआ क्या है. She must tell us at least a detailed account of what actually she has gone through. And then our next step would be to make her at least feel comfortable and strong enough, she can rely upon us कि हम उसकी help करेंगे अगर कभी कुछ situation आएगी. And we can, first of all, we have to remove the guilt factor in her कि it was my mistake that I ran away from my home, my parents and everybody, and settled in a place with this guy, and my family won't support me. Since the family is supportive, so we can assure her that your family is with you and you need not worry. And then, first of all, like I've seen it in my locality itself, the neighbors become very hostile of a victim who is not willing to come out and narrate herself and approach the requisite people for help. So we can make the neighbors aware that there exists a girl like this who has gone through this much tribulation. It was not her fault, and if you get just an idea that something bad is happening with her, or the husband is even trying to do something bad to her, you should be the first ones to approach her for some help or some mental or physical, like some help कि वो डरे ना. And then you should know, मतलब आप लोगों को ये नहीं करना चाहिए कि you are making her feel bad or आप उसको बुरा feel करवा रहे हो that आप गलत हो. नहीं, neighbors also form a big part of her life in a society. And then if she needs some medical help, we can make her confident. You should approach a psychiatrist or psychologist to narrate yourself, and if you want some help. And then next step would be to take her to either NCW, DCW, some women's cell, who can properly guide her through various legal procedures. You can file a case against him if you want, again in this section. And उसको इतना strong बनाना है that she किसी भी situation में, even if he gets violent, the society gets violent, her family does not support her, she shouldn't think of harming herself. क्योंकि इस time पे हो सकता है कि वो इतनी guilt हो, उसमें इतना वो weak हो जाए कि वो कोशिश करे अपने आप को harm पहुंचाने की. तो हम उसको इतना support दे दें कि वो ऐसा कोई भी step ना उठाएगा.
would you do to address that aspect of it? She'll still remain there, and while we're doing all these negotiations and conversations, DCW, and we want to strengthen it and all, should she continue to stay in that house?
If she's comfortable and उसके पास कोई option नहीं, if she's secure enough and we have approached the requisite authorities, and we would also try and talk to her in-laws and husband they try and make her understand. But if she gets confident enough and she's willing to start a new life afresh or stay somewhere, earn a living, then we would give her the confidence and the requisite support that she moves out of that insecure place, and if the husband and the family is getting violent or hostile towards her, and move to a secure and better place. That is
Does she need any support in moving out of that house?
we can approach some NGO who can
Why the
give
NGO?
and
Why the NGO support group of
if
it?
we have
You are
some
the activist group and then you want support.
So victim support.
Victim support, victim support. Okay. You are the activist वाले बोलेंगे अभी.
and we can approach some NGO or some
NGOs be ready.
group to give her some vocational training if she doesn't have any, or if
No,
she has
but
any.
start thinking in terms of short term and long term. Immediately, what you need to intervene and what you need to do for long term rehabilitation, and it can lead to either way. It can lead to going back to the family with proper settlement. It may lead to what you're saying, new life with new ambitions, new prospects, new options, etc. Both are possibilities.
हमें तो entirely depend on her कि हमारी counseling, हमारे support से वो क्या decide करती है, क्या करना, उसकी family का क्या attitude है, are they willing to support her, are they mentally willing to support her,
Okay,
and
great. Who wants to go next?
We are from Women Activist Group. So actually our major focus would be to
Please, attention.
get to the 360, like when we get to the information that this certain girl who was of 20 years, now she is of 23 years, 25 years,
Great.
like at stretch for 2 years and then 22 or 20 years. So we get to know the information that says this certain girl, she ran away and she has got married to some person, and she has not got legal as well as the social recognition of being the wife of that husband. So legal in sense
What is legal recognition?
legal in sense
She
like
has a certificate of marriage.
okay, so like that should be resolved in that way.
हाँ, टेम्पल वाले देते हैं ना, सर्टिफिकेट देते हैं. पता नहीं ना, देते.
There will be cases like when husband can claim that it was not a complete sarpati.
Certificate.
So first would be give approach to the family to get to know about the situation of it, actual situation of it, to the friends and to the institution where she is studying to get to know what the real status of the girl, how she behaves and what is her condition, and at the same time to the
What do you mean by how she behaves?
like if she is under some trauma, she won't be behaving completely normal as other kids, other students who are studying around with her.
Yeah, no, because when you say how she behaves, maybe, okay, is she the one who is responsible for her own situation? Can get interpretation.
No, like,
You're not saying that, you need to be very specific.
Okay.
That you're looking at her mental and physical state, whether she is any danger. Or when you say how she behaves is a very, very difficult
So as it is written, she is not free to talk to anybody on this issue. There will be certain sort of fear in her mind that will be that could be identified by her behavior. So we could get to know about this from the friend circle to which she belongs to her classmates, and even to the faculty members who teach them, teach the girl. And on getting to know about all these things, at the same time we'll try to contact with the office of the person whose wife she is, so that we could get to know what the past of the person. Is he married? Was he married earlier, or he was a single person? How he behaves, his behavior, and everything. And then our step will be to rescue the girl from that place. First of all, to rescue the
What
girl.
will you do to rescue?
We'll try to help. We'll try to help, take the help of initially the psychiatrist to get know what the girl wants to, and then the help of the
You
state.
are assuming that the husband will let her go to a psychiatrist.
No,
First of all, he will not allow to go over with them to even. in a meeting with her.
Will create a social pressure on the person.
कैसे करोगे social pressure कैसे करोगे?
Mass mobilization will
Demand mobilization कैसे करोगे?
will have the friends of the girl, the family members to approach to the house of the girl, and at the same time the pressure from the office members on the husband, so that he makes this.
It's a good point, right? No, getting his office involved is the whole thing. That he cannot save his face there.
Yes, like to a person, office is a place where a person finds his own prestige, like maybe a boy or a girl. So there he will be, there we can break him down in
But
that.
we have to not also to be really very careful about the sensibilities of this person who certainly has been behaving. You know, families will tell us what kind of behavior has been this indicates. Whether that person may kind of retaliate more aggressively than we want him to. Is that a possibility that we need to worry about? That you put too much pressure, you humiliate him, then he really goes berserk.
Yeah, tell me.
So how do you balance that? How do you ensure that the girl is not harmed, the family is saved, and she is happily living there? Whether that should be our aim or it should not be our aim.
That should be our primary.
Yeah, but how do you achieve that? How do you balance when you say involve the office? Is that not a real danger that now you are really wanting to expose him there? And whether he will be cowed down by that or will he retaliate? Both possibilities are there. So we need to be very sensitive to that aspect as when we are thinking on those lines.
We can bring in the family members to the house where the husband lives, so that if there is certain sort of guilt in the mind of the girl, taking that as an assumption, like the girl has a guilt that she has ran away from, and she has okay that my family won't accept it, and as the family members have said that they will be completely supportive to this point. So we can bring in the family members at this end and put a pressure on the husband from the office side, so that his acts of violence won't be aggravated. It will be cowed down in a proper way, and then we can put on a complete pressure on the husband to make it public that he is
Will
married.
you do any dharna at his house if he doesn't agree to anything?
We'll move to
Demonstration of his house. Hi. Will you do
the
that?
better way at the office, not at his house.
Not at his house. Why not at his house? Why
Because
not at his house?
Wow, and 44.
there are some at both the places, but office will be a place where he will be cowed down more easily compared to the place where
No, but do you think if you do it at the office and the neighborhood still is not knowing what's happening here, will she be safe at home?
no. They will
Whether creating awareness in the neighborhood is more important or doing the high at the office is more
There are
important?
person at the house, one day that we can go to the neighbors' places and talk to them about this situation, whether how this person is living. Is there any person who is non-existent, as if she is there but she is non-existent? Do they really know about some person is living? As it said that she enters from back door, no one knows about it. So first of all, the thing is that we get to know that neighbors do really know about that girl or not, and if they know about it.
Delhi has a neighborhood which doesn't bother about their neighbors also. So that's also another issue, that whether you really think that whether talking to the neighbors will be of any use, whether they will actually provide that, because relatives, parents would be living somewhere else. It's the neighbors who are your first family.
They don't indulge in all
But
this.
most of the time we have neighborhoods which we do not know who is in the neighborhood. In any case, this girl is in any case making efforts not to be known, and the family is supporting her in that to make her invisible.
We have a maid servant. She comes to the place every day. She knows that there is somebody. By that information, we can.
So we use the maid to not spread the information in the neighborhood. Something is happening.
No,
Okay,
not
but
maids.
maids are also spreading to think it through as to how to handle this very sensitive aspect of neighborhood support and the family and the office support.
Our point will be because making doing Dhanapradhan at his house will make a big fuss of this thing. So we need to be to bring in people in an integrated way, so that they can get into the house and talk to the person in a manner that he gets to know that what he is doing is wrong, rather than making him to react as if he is being indirectly bullied in the office by our dharna and secondly at the house. Generally, this is the thing that comes out because if we get on to the present for both the cases, then we create a big fuss,
Right.
and there are chances like
Thank you. As to
Okay, 3 minutes left. Yeah, 3 minutes, 5 seconds.
First of all, see, basically this whole situation shows that the girl herself is very scared. She is living under mortal fear, and the only person she is scared of is not the husband but also the family because they are sort of working with him to keep her under cover. Secondly, the thing is that we have to understand the psychology of the girl. So, first of all, she is scared. Second of all, she is probably very guilty about what she did, and that is why she will be afraid to take any help from anyone. Right. So, and second of all, the family. The whole question of acceptance arises because probably she is a girl and she decided to run away. Now, they do not just have to accept the fact that she ran away, but also that she made a mistake. And for that, we have to first of all let the girl feel confident enough to approach people. Even if NGOs approach her or women's rights group or whoever approaches her, it does not really matter unless she realizes that she is being violated, her rights are being violated. And that happens because she herself has lived in patriarchy all her life. So she does not really realize that she should not live there.
If I might add, like, it's like a sanctum.
again, stop it and do it again.
It's like the sanctity of marriage also. Like, we have to, as feminists, to question these, structures. What inside, like, sanctity of marriage also comes here. You have to question it. I believe, like, the girl might be feeling first she is alone. It's her consent. It's her everything. She has consented. She has left her family, and after that she has married. And after marriage, the girls start, we have that, after marriage, ho gaya, kuch nahi ho sakta, sehna hi hai. After that, so we have to question these concepts of marriage. The sanctity of marriage has to be essentially questioned.
Is marriage the last goal of a woman's life? Is she supposed to go with it even if she has made a wrong choice? Does she not have the right to go back and somehow make it better for herself? She's a very young girl. She's 23 probably. She was not mature when she made this decision. She was not mature enough, obviously. And the point is that because she did a miscalculation here and there and she married the wrong man, is she to blame now? Because she is definitely blaming herself. So any help that you are trying to provide her will be useless unless she realizes that it is her right to get out of that situation. So first of all, we have to make the girl realize that it's not the end of the life for her. She can still move the court. She can go to the police. There are a lot of things that she can do. But first and foremost thing that should be done is that we should make the girl realize that she is living under danger. She's being violated. Her rights are being violated.
Economic empowerment also has to be looked at. And personally, I believe, but not the group here, that the marriage age has to be, for girls also, should be 21. I believe that because if modern economy, if we see this in 21st century, how economics takes place, if like why is, as we are discussing that the men, why marriageable age for men is 21? Because he needs to earn. So, and I see if the girl in this case would have married like a couple of years later, and she would have been a graduate or a postgraduate, and if she would have had her own job, she could have easily left out, got her place, and she would have a support structure independently for herself. Now she needs to fall back on 4 people here, 4 groups. If she would have had a job, she would have had to follow for any 4 of the groups. That is only the condition if she is having a job. That's what I'm saying.
I want to make a point here. No, there is also an assumption that if you have a job, you have psychological strength to walk out of there. It's not automatic. When I was talking about the judges, they were independent, but they had no spaces themselves in their own homes. I've so many women colleagues in this university who are subject to domestic violence. They're teaching in law faculty as well, and are not able to do anything about the domestic violence they face. So certainly, economic independence is a step forward, but it cannot be. She may still need the support of those 4 groups. You cannot assume that if she is working, she will not need the support of the other 4 groups. That has to be very clearly understood. No, but what I want to also further focus on this as a feminist group is that what all do you see here happening? What is the behavior? what is the structures which are getting represented in this scenario? You can always supplement.
We need family's acceptance. The family has to accept it because the whole idea of acceptance lies in the patriarchal setup. See, if a son, like if a son marries and he brings up a daughter-in-law, then they won't ask, they have to accept their son and daughter-in-law. So why don't they do it with their daughters? So according to me, that acceptance thing, they have that,
No, I think that will happen in even cases when boys marry and let's say intercaste girl. For a long time, parents also don't accept. They don't accept.
many a times it happens.
So it can happen either way. You know, the acceptance of the families is maybe in question in number of scenarios.
She would have always a soft corner for her son, but her harsh.
मगर father का जरूरी नहीं है वो soft corner. वो father का जरूरी नहीं है.
So they will blame that daughter-in-law.
Whatever, but you know, many a times when intercaste marriages happen, when the first child arrives, many reconciliations happen.
They were happy with that guy now.
No, they had no objection. Nobody expected that he will turn out to be abusive husband. So I want you to find out what kind of abuse is happening in this scenario. One, we know that initial years was physical abuse. What are the factors which indicate in this scenario which are causing emotional abuse?
First of all,
One by one, please.
First of all, the way she's being monitored all the time, the 24-hour surveillance that she's living in, she's not allowed to contact the people she wants to talk, her family or whoever, right? She's not allowed to talk to them, she's not allowed to contact them, and she's living under the fear of her husband. That in itself is a very detrimental factor to her health, emotional well-being, even physical well-being. It's going to have an impact, and her education is not going to mean a lot to her because while she's getting her higher education, she's living under that fear, right? So it is the education in itself will not make her independent unless and until her surroundings also make her feel empowered.
Why do you think? No, this is a young girl, really gutsy girl. It's a gutsy girl who at the age of 20 made up her mind, took her decision. Now she's in an abusive situation for the last 3 years. Why is she not doing anything for 3 years?
Maybe she's blaming herself. She's probably blaming herself. She's alienated. And because she's not allowed to talk to her family, her prenatal family, what happens is that because the husband has cut her off from other people and even in the college, even in her social group, she's at all times under his surveillance. What happens is that she can't really talk to anyone about it. So she's getting no affirmation about what she's thinking. She can't discuss it with anyone. She can't move forward with her thoughts, and she's probably blaming herself because she made the decision to get married with him.
I think depression, she needs mental health. I think with time, like we see position of women here, now how we can see that how she's dependent first upon the family, then secondly on her husband, and then it comes like what's happening in the education or a college we don't know, maybe like we that so she is isolated from everyone now. I think that's causing alienation and mentally she's disturbed. So we need to focus on these issues. I think how mentally she is disturbed, and if person really gets depressed, it's tough for them to come out, to come out to anyone now. The position is now like how we reach to.
Okay. So in this scenario, when we recognize these are the social setup in which women subjected to domestic violence live, to what extent is the law helpful? That's where we stop the buck and we have to kind of start asking ourselves that certainly having a law is a starting point. But law alone cannot help anybody. Nobody is helped by that. And therefore we need to again think that we have a law at the back which is always there to support us, but we are not yet ready, and also we know that even when we were to make a complaint, do we really think immediately police will come to my rescue? Do you think they'll be actually able to protect me? So it will have to be the people near me who have to protect me if I'm in a situation of violence and I'm feeling vulnerable, I'm feeling guilty, I'm not able to come out. How do we hold hand of such a victim?